Are you in need of some action and adventure? Come on down to the Cave of Stuff in Riboflavin. This week, our theme is the jungle. Here comes a vicious panther. Hey, Lady Hiss, you're the panther, go.
Roar! Roar! Hiff. No, wait. Roar.
They're jaguars in the movie, not panthers.
Grup, we ordered the wrong animal. I'm sorry.
How come you're always trying to make me improv? Yes, and did I do it right this time?
What, am I just supposed to continue plugging MarsCon until I die or something? Ugh.
I mean, FuMPFest is coming up.
FuMPFest? You mean the event happening this August in Chicago, Illinois, featuring the 50th anniversary celebration of the Dr. Demento show with Dr. Demento himself?
Well, that's not till August, so...
Buy your theoretical tickets now.
Fortunately, time is linear, so people will hear this, and it will be true as time continues.
Linear, it's linear, the encyclopedia.
FuMPFest.com.
Linear, the time that we're stuck in. Greetings, Internet, and welcome once again to A Comedy Musician Reacts. My name is Insane Ian. I'm a comedy musician and comedy music fan. And this week, I am reacting to the brand new Stupendium song Fragments, as well as the rap battle between Loki and OLAF from Lemony Snicket. The rap battle that stars Stupendium and Chubati. But, yes, I'm very excited to be reacting to the new Stupendium song Fragments, which I believe is technically about Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, but from everything Stupendium is saying, it's actually more of a personal song. So I'm excited about that. If you're watching this on Patreon, you get to see this early before everybody else does. One of the benefits of being part of my Patreon. Yeah, you're actually getting to see this before Stupendium releases it, technically. Which I got permission from him. He sent me the video. That's why there's no end slate on this, and if you can see it on the screen, it says work in progress. So this is kind of an early version of the thing so that I could get a reaction to it, which thank you very much, Stupendium, for the honor of sending that to me early. I appreciate that. I am truly honored by your graciousness. But yeah, we're gonna check that out, and then we're gonna check out the other video afterwards. But before we do that, please, if you could like, share, comment, and subscribe on the video, really helps the algorithm get these onto more eyeballs. I'm trying to get to 10,000 subs soon. And also, if you really want to help out the channel, consider supporting me on Patreon. You get to see these videos early every week. You also get to see new music from me early before anybody else. And participate in polls to vote on what songs I'm reacting to next. All sorts of other cool stuff over at patreon.com/InsaneIan. But, without any further ado... Oh, I don't know what I'm saying anymore. It's much later at night than I usually record these, and my brain is a little fried because I've been working on a new song, and Loki things. Anyway, lots of brain frying. Let's break that into fragments. There's a segue for you. Anyway.
Oh my. Ratchet, the Dimensionator has sent us to a dimension where not everybody is subscribed to the Stupendium.
Perfect.
Quickly, hit the red button to send us back.
And I have to say, his Clank impression, spot on. Bravo, Stupendium. That was awesome. And the Stupendium logo with him as Ratchet, that's adorable. That's Lombax perfection. Good stuff. Before we dive in, sorry, one more thing. For those of you who are new here, this is called A Comedy Musician Reacts because I react from the perspective of a comedy musician. That said, Stupendium has put forth that this song may not exactly be a comedy song. I'm hoping that the rap battle afterwards is a little bit more on the comedy side. He said there are, you know, a few clever lines in here, but this is not exactly comedy leaning. So we'll see if any input I can have as a comedy musician will affect my reaction to that. Just replying to some comments I've received lately, so I want to make sure that was clear. Anyway, going on now. Oh yeah, I also paused a lot to actually talk about the song, so, you know, it's mostly so that I'm not talking over the song, and also so that the YouTube algorithm doesn't get angry at me. You know, things.
So things seem stable. It's beginning to all make sense, but on the periodic table, equilibrium ain't that tense. So you total every playbill. You've been living as a main event. Live a life on red carpet. You can't be surprised when you ask where the rug went when it's pulled out from under your feet.
Ooh, very clever flip.
Equilibrium ain't that tense. So you total every playbill. You've been living as a main event. Live a life on red carpet. You can't be surprised when you ask where the rug went when it's pulled out from under your feet. Plunging parades to confronting defeat. Plunging the rain until nearly a speech, but there's nothing to gain by admitting you beat. Maybe it ain't quite as clear as it seems. Don't get to choose the screws you inherit. Over the face in the mirror you see. Together you've got the tools to repair it.
Might just be a long backs with a wrench. I was sat on the bench, now I'm back with a vengeance. Smash my dimensions, a ratchet suggestion. Mechanical emperors, you cash the pension. Graduate from the school of hard knocks and the grade A plates and the carbon knocks. When I take straight aim with my glasses shot, the reports say rain was about to bust.
Wow. Flipping up the styles in both of those. Kind of a more melodious intro, like actual Stupendium singing. And I brought this up in the last video, too, where I was reacting to the Stanley Parable song. And I was like, oh, Stupendium actually singing. His videos that he was doing on his channel before he was jumping into the hip-hop stuff was him covering show tunes and such. And so yeah, the Stupendium is a singer, and I always act like I'm surprised by this, but shouldn't be, because I tend to forget it, because we're so usually encapsulated into his hip-hop songs more than his songs where he's actually stretching his vocal cords. If you don't follow him on TikTok, he's been singing jazz standards in his empty house while he's waiting for deliveries to fill that house. It's been very entertaining. So yeah, no, but switching up the styles there, going from singing to the rap break and then back to singing in this next part, I'm assuming, because I heard the snippet of it just before I paused it. I'm digging it, is what I'm saying. And also just the general flow of everything as far as the themes of the game. I feel like I kind of know where this might be leading. So we'll see if I'm right about things. Yeah, this is cool. I'm digging it. Yeah.
Your mechanical emperors, you cash the pension. Graduate from the school of hard knocks and the grade A plates and the carbon knocks. When I take straight aim with my glasses shot, the reports say rain was about to bust. When realities collide, it's appealing to think there's green on the other side. While you're wielding the sprinkler.
When you're wielding the sprinkler, because there's a topiary shot which sprays sprinklers onto the enemies, and it freezes them because the overgrowth of greenery grows on them and they become immobilized by it. Stuff from the game.
Was about to bust. When realities collide, it's appealing to think there's green on the other side. While you're wielding the sprinklers, watch you make it your fate, not ingrained. Every crack in the paint, still a piece of the picture.
A piece of the picture, fragments.
Every crack in the paint, still a piece of the picture.
Well.
Look past the pieces and you'll see there's more adventure to seize. Don't believe it when you're thinking one-dimensionally.
Don't believe it, you're thinking one-dimensionally. In a game that has you going through alternate universes and rifts, that's a fantastic line. Very layered. Really dig that. And also, hey, auto-tune jumping in on the effects of the last note of the previous part of the chorus. I dig that too. High quality production as usual from Stupendium here. good. And throwing in the thing about Rivet, because Rivet is the alternate universe version of Ratchet, and it brings the title of the game into the song, and just all the thematically just what's going on. This is beautiful and fantastic, and yeah, again, not really humorous, but definitely has the clever lines and the good flips on commonality themes of the game versus what some might sing about themselves. So making it a bit more personal, but not surface level personal. Yeah, that's good stuff, man.
Jean shorts, keep tracking them down on the heat source leads, in the keen source veins of machine source. Keep breathing, it's all gonna pass in the season. Believe in a call and a flash in the pan and release it. Let a thought stop with the dash, and you leave it all, look at the small in the past. A shatter bomb to your artwork, can make it feel like your heart bursts. It's hard to know what to start first, each step becomes a departure, and you may feel like a drifter. Resist the place in the mixture, is this a crack in the rifter? Another piece of the picture.
I don't know who that was. This was only sent to me as Stupendium, so I don't know any guest artists on this. By the time this comes out for everyone else to see, other than my Patreons, they will know who the guest artist is on this. I am not recognizing the voice. It sounds like Freest. I could be wrong, and then probably am wrong, but it sounds like it's Freest. I'm completely unsure. I don't know. But that is who, on initial listen, that's who it sounds like in my ear. I could be wrong. That said, excellent verse. And I dig all of that. So, yeah. Not really saying a whole lot here other than this is great. Which is, honestly, par for the course with a Stupendium song, let's be honest.
Another piece of the picture. Look past the pieces and you'll see there's more adventure to see. Don't believe it, then you're thinking one-dimensionally. Though this world is not the one that you intended to be. Learn a rivet's what you need when things might tear at the seams. It's your turn to revolt in every turn of a bolt. Take the world on your shoulders, then turn it to gold. When you've crashed into fragments of all that you know, and you're far from alone, we're just a rift apart.
The thing about the bolts and then turning to gold, one of the things in the game, at least on the surface level, talking about the game, is you find hidden bolts that are gold bolts that help you. Basically, they're cheats for the game. They turn on special abilities in the game. And I think there's probably some sort of double entendre. Not double entendre, but double meaning as far as taking the bolts and turning them to gold to try to help yourself level up in life and try to have these additions that make things seem better and more possible and more wonderful and fruitful or whatever. Or I'm reading too much into things and it's just about the game. Whatever. That comes to philosophizing about deeper meanings of things. I am very surface level. All of my stuff is comedy, and comedy is very surface level. It's like, this is the thing that makes you laugh, and sometimes there's deeper meaning to the punchlines, and that's always great. But when it comes to things that are not comedy, Ian, not smart good. Song is a banger, though.
There's one thing rarer than raritanium. That's a fate that don't seem alien. No matter how long you've been on that grind, life's soon finds ways of derailing. Any info bot will say the same trend. If a legacy's planting seeds, you'd better believe I'm leaving these enemies in leaves and geraniums.
Chance may choose our canvas, only we can paint the hues. But your flaws don't mean you're broken, they're just deeper shades of you.
Combination of Sagan and Bob Ross. No mistakes when repeating the cosmos. If things seem grey, it's the start of a gradient. Can't make hay with when I rake in the compress.
Ooh, that verse was excellent. Rhyming Bob Ross with Cosmos, that's... Okay, yeah, that's good stuff, man.
Deeper shades of you.
Deeper shades of you.
No mistakes when repeating the cosmos. Things seem grey as the start of a gradient. Can't make hay when I rake in the compress.
Things seem great, it's the start of the gradient. Oh, such a flip, that's so good.
Dimensions, fragmentum, the shards reconnect. You'll find you're not defined by the past they reflect. Leaving one world behind can be hard to expect, but you'll work out in time a new path in the next. When your reality cracks, it can feel like forever. Trapped in the gaps as the pieces are severed. If you feel you could lapse, all you need is a tether.
The tether in the game pulling you through different cracks in the dimension that you happen to be in so that you can get behind enemies or move around to areas and platforming. Throwing a harder meaning on that.
That team at your back, you can keep it together. Look past the pieces and you'll see there's more adventure to see. Don't believe it, then you're thinking one-dimensionally. So your world is on the brink of some nefarious scheme.
Nefarious, because that's the name of the bad guy. These are the things that I catch, because I'm brain.
Well, if it's what you need when things might tend to seem, it's your turn to revolt in every turn of the boat. Take the world on your shoulders, then turn it to gold. When you've crashed into fragments of all that you know, well, you're far from alone. We're just a rift apart. A rift apart. We're just a rift apart. A rift apart. And with every new world that unfurls, you will find there is more to your life than the one you designed.
There's more to your life than the one you designed. Yeah, no, this is just about Ratchet and Clank.
There is far more to fight for than what you are leaving behind.
Bravo. There is no end slate on this video because I have the work in progress version, so I won't know who the other vocalist on this was until the song actually comes out. But, man, that was good. Man, just a solid bop and very philosophically dense. Not saying, like, I'm dense. This is dense. You know what I mean? You know, like, I'm not right. This is thick with layers. Basically, I'm defining things now. Is this what my channel has become? Alright, sure, whatever. Anyway, that was awesome. And now, the Loki versus Count Olaf rap battle featuring Stupendium and Shwabadi by Freshy Kanal. I am not super familiar with them. I know they've done a couple other rap battles that I'd been meaning to check out and just haven't had an opportunity to, and then I saw this one pop up today, and I was like, I'm recording a reaction today, and I only have one song, so let's make this video longer for no other reason than most of my reaction videos tend to be long, and sure, why not? Here we are. So, I do know in this video that Stupendium and Shwabadi are only voicing the characters. They have other people who are playing the characters in the visuals. So the voice will probably not match the look we're used to, but it will match the character because everyone is a performer, obviously. Anyway, yes. Jumping into that now. After I've cut out the ads between songs. Hopefully I remembered this week. That was fun last week where I forgot to do that. But yeah, you know, people paid attention and pointed it out to me and made me feel like a fool. It's okay. I am a fool. It's cool. Whatever. It's so late. Dig the ERB-ness of that. And also just the presentation of the the names being in front of and behind the character. It's a very epic rap battles of history style presentation.
Oh, then, you're surely joking. You must be the reason Odin still hasn't awoken. Your whole broken-up series of prose must have bored him to tears from the open. Put the Baudelaire's chosen heirs in woes for their fortunes, yet Poe tends to be more potent. Look.
Ooh, coming in with book bars about Olaf's origins in the Lemony Snicket novels. Excellent stuff. Schwabati is playing Loki.
The reason Odin still hasn't awoken. Your whole broken-up series of prose must have bored him to tears from the open. Put the Baudelaire's chosen heirs in woes for their fortunes, yet Poe tends to be more potent. Look away, or the bitter grumpy and Mr. Tumnus will pluck your eyes out with his goat chin. Long ago you lusted over the stage. Your dreams were crushed because you skipped leg day. What's the god of...
Your dreams were crushed because you skipped leg day. Excellent. I wonder, I don't know what's going on with the Freshy Kanal rap battles, if they write them all or if the artists who are on them write their verses. I know in ERB it's a collaborative thing, and sometimes the performers are only performing the things that Lloyd and Peter and Zach Sherwin have written. I don't know what the process is with these, as this is my first to experience.
Poe tends to be more potent. Look away, or the bitter grumpy and Mr. Tumnus will pluck your eyes out with his goat chin. Long ago you lusted over the stage. Your dreams were crushed because you skipped leg day. What's the god of tricks, Ragnarok a diss? Like valid signature, you're left, not dominant. Are you close?
Left, not dominant. It's a book reference that I do not recognize. I honestly have not seen the series of Unfortunate Events TV series with NPH as Count Olaf. I've only seen the movie with Jim Carrey as Count Olaf. So and I've not read any of the books. So my reference is small on that end. However, big comic nerd, so the Loki stuff I should be a little bit better versed on. That was an unintentional pun.
Goat chin. Long ago you lusted over the stage. Your dreams were crushed because you skipped leg day. What's the god of tricks, Ragnarok?
Ragnarok, that's
valid signature, you're left, not dominant. Are you close friends with Heimdall? Because that nose bridges the 9 realms so many...
Oh, okay, there we go. So, pointing out how Olaf's nose is enormous, and Heimdall is the guardian of the Bifrost, the large rainbow bridge that they use to move from Asgard to Midgard or the other realms. Yes, his nose. The bridge of your nose also being with... compared to an actual bridge. Yes. Yes, I get the flips. Whatever, I'm sorry, the accent suddenly made me accent.
Your dreams were crushed because you skipped leg day.
What's heard that one much of time.
Ragnarok a diss, like valid signature, you're left, not dominant. Are you close friends with Heimdall? Because that nose bridges the 9 realms, so many flaws like a hotel. If only your folks had raised you better than you've raised that eyebrow. As a feeling you're trivial, it is so outrageous. I influence millions to bow down and make way. Insignificant ridicule by children without safety. Try pilfering riches but ended up Klaus chasing.
Klaus chasing, which sounds enough like clout chasing. It's another good flip. I gotta admit, Loki's got some good bars here. I'm anxious to see what they do as Olaf here.
That eyebrow. As a feeling you're trivial, it is so outrageous. I influence millions to bow down and make way. Insignificant ridicule by children without safety. Try pilfering riches but ended up Klaus chasing. Marvel's undebated, talking from adaptations. You're placed in a railroad and it was so much of a train wreck.
Oh, yeah, because that's one of the things that almost happens to the Baudelaire children is that the train gets stuck on the train tracks because Olaf is trying to kill them to get the inheritance. That part I remember from the movie, and he's talking about how the movie was a train wreck compared to Marvel's outings. It's a good line, too.
Millions to bow down and make way. Insignificant ridicule by children without safety. Try pilfering riches but ended up Klaus chasing. Marvel's undebated, talking from adaptations. You're placed in a railroad and it was so much of a train wreck. Shape-shifting, you're out of shape-shifting. When the snakes bit you like your dad, you'll have holes in your pale neck. I doubt this lazy creep could even read of the evil deeds that'd be completing. This mortal being ought to steal some escape from me, please. Even if you look me up, you'll be beneath me. What was that slop?
Even if you look me up, you'll be beneath me. Ooh. Ooh, that's a great way to end a line. That was excellent.
Dad, you'll have holes in your pale neck. Dr. Slade's group could even read of the evil deeds that be completing. This mortal being ought to steal some mischief from me, please. Even if you look me up, you'll be beneath me.
What was that sloppy verse? I wanted roast beef, damn it. So call me the Hulk. This rap is low-key, slap him.
Puny God.
Even if you look me up, you'll be beneath me.
What was that sloppy verse? I wanted roast beef, damn it. So call me the Hulk. This rap is low-key, slap him. Out of both of old and sons, you're the only one looking like an avatar carcass. When fighting fire with an arsonist, you better keep your ass guarded.
Keep your ass guarded. I don't know if people remember this, but Charmin, the toilet paper, made a tweet during Thor Ragnarok, when Thor Ragnarok the movie came out, saying, "Thor, we've always been an Asgardian, an Asgardian," and there was a hammer, but the top of the hammer was a toilet paper roll. They had to delete that tweet, I think, but of course it's the internet, so it lives on. Just reminded me of that, that's all.
Low-key, slap him. Out of both of old and sons, you're the only one looking like an avatar carcass. When fighting fire with an arsonist, you better keep your ass guarded. Oh man, your whole plan got out of hand. That's so sad. I'm Olaf, but this dope dropped off the bridge like Bifrost to the snowman. The bro's the ghost of God, you're the god.
Okay, because Loki is technically part of the Frost Giants, so calling him Frosty the Snowman is technically a very accurate diss, because he was raised by, or no, he was originally a Frost Giant's child, and he was taken from them by Odin and raised as Odin's own son. So yeah, that's some good stuff there.
Oh man, your whole plan got out of hand. That's so sad.
Also, I will say, in the production end, they are very much emulating the ERB style, because they've got the multiples of the characters, like the clones of the characters, just dancing in the background and doing interesting things. Like there was that shot previously of Loki in the throne room, and it pulls back and there's the army of Lokis all holding the Mind Stone scepter from the first Avengers movie. And then they turn and do the rest of the verse, and him now doing the verse while the other one's doing the dances. Yeah, all very ERB-esque. It's a good influence, and it's a very good emulation of that style, I will say. This is excellent stuff. I've had in mind my own series of rap battle things, although a bit more specific, that I've been wanting to do, and I do not have the production skills to do it quite like this. So that's why I haven't done it yet. And also I like making excuses. Anyway.
I'm Olaf, but this dope dropped off the bridge like Bifrost to the snowman. The bro's the goat of God, you're the god of goats. If you swallowed your pride, you would probably choke. I don't...
If you swallowed your pride, you'd probably choke. The goat of gods, meaning the greatest of all time, and you're the god of goats. He's not just gender fluid, but just physically body fluid. He changes his shape. He's a shapeshifter and can turn into different things, which he even mentioned in his verse. And yeah, there's been times where Loki has been a goat, among other things. A crocodile recently, or an alligator. Anyway. And he was a snake, and he turned, and I like snakes, and I picked it up, and oh, look at this snake, and then he stabbed me. And then Thor Ragnarok. Anyway.
Out of hand, that's so sad. I'm Olaf, but this dope dropped off the bridge like Bifrost to the snowman. The bro's the goat of God, you're the god of goats. If you swallowed your pride, you would probably choke. I don't got that hocus pocus or that mind control, but still keep my staff under my control.
Keep my staff under my control. Meaning, he had a mind control staff. Loki had a staff that could control minds. But when he says his staff, he means his employees. Another good flip.
You're so horny, but I get it, dude. Your whole family tree is a fucking petting zoo.
That's a good line, too. Is that the first time I've heard Stupendium swear? I can't recall.
your pregnancy was violent, not to prize your poor private blue. Remind me never to go horse riding with you.
Okay, I was waiting to see if they were going to bring up the horse thing. So Loki turned into a horse so that he could have sex with a horse, so that he could give birth to a 6-legged or 8-legged horse as a gift for Odin. Because Norse mythology, which is hard to say when you already have a slight lisp, I almost said North mythology. Norse mythology... See, I can't do it. Norse mythology is weird. So yeah, that is a thing that happened. And we know Loki is gender fluid. We knew that from the series, but we also knew that from the comics and the mythology itself. He's appeared as a she, as other animals. He's everything. They are everything. You know, his pronouns depend on what form they happen to be at the time. So yeah. Accuracy is what I'm saying.
I staff under my control. You're so horny, but I get it, dude.
Also, when he said keep my staff under my control, there was a shot of someone dressed as Hawkeye, who was under Loki's mind control in the first Avengers movie, pointing out the obvious things. Yes.
Of gods, you're the god of goats. If you swallowed your pride, you would probably choke. I don't got the hocus pocus or that mind control, but still keep my staff under my control. You're so horny, but I get it, dude. Your whole family tree is a fucking petting zoo. Heard your pregnancy was violent, not to prize your poor privates of blue. Remind me never to go horse riding with you. Of course, I'm more striking. The force lightning, my author could better handle a task of writing adored ideas of...
Woo, wait a second. That was... Let's take it back there a little bit. My author could better handle a task of writing. Knowing Stupendium's propensity for putting in punny names, where the names of characters fill in the place for actual words, and the way that handler is capitalized, I feel like that's something in Norse mythology, or it may be a character in the Lemony Snicket books. I don't know if it's either, because the name is not familiar to me, but I recognize that it's capitalized, and the fact that it's better handler task of writing better instead of handle a task of writing makes me realize that it is a reference that I am not getting. But it's a reference, and I recognize it as such. So I feel better about myself.
Adored ideas of the broad psyche of Norse Viking to full right, what of the court just to head on it for all Viking.
There was a bunch of good lines in there, and I want to point them out.
With you. Of course, I'm more striking. The force lightning, my author could better handle a task of writing adored ideas of the broad psyche.
Adored ideas than the broad psyche of Norse Vikings. Just that triple right there was so good.
Right, what if a court jester had horns that were all spiky?
And what if a court jester had horns that were all spiky? As a man who has actually played a court jester before in his life, I feel that.
Is it just me, or is it melting in here? Somebody toss me water. After all, I'm sure parched from thirsting over my foster daughter.
Foster daughter, Jane Foster? Is that a... Well, no, because it's an Olaf line, and it's a thing against Olaf, so he is kind of a little creepy there in those films and such. Yes.
You met Kid Snicket and she thought you were a fun guy. Being with you killed her harder than the fungi. And you had a girlfriend, but she wasn't down for the count. Once she was in, you had to opt out.
Down for the count. Nice.
I see through your acts and the threat you excrete. They come all fabricated in Sesame Street. Get yourself up beneath your chest, ending your spiel. I'm not talking Patrick Harris when I get you to kneel.
Ooh! Good flip on the different actor playing Olaf. I'm not talking Patrick Harris when I get you to kneel before Zod. Or Loki. Confusing my comic references now.
Now, Count Olaf had just been burned, a word which here means personally hurt by the deep meanings in Loki's quick quips. However, when you were as blindsided as Olaf, you might not know when to quit.
Talk about to my she's a French failure directors never let the story off set sail.
I study snake biology, not mental health, but with that family drama, you should get help.
So it's Olaf as all the different characters that Olaf pretends to be throughout the series. referencing Get Help, which was a move from Thor Ragnarok, where Thor would bring in Loki as an injured person, telling people, get help, and then he would throw Loki at them. It's from Thor Ragnarok. Good stuff.
After Thor's image fitted, I needed a Kiwi to save my series of unfortunate screenings.
I needed a Kiwi to help save my series of unfortunate screenings. Meaning, Kiwi meaning someone from New Zealand, meaning Taika Waititi, who directed Thor Ragnarok, which would kind of revitalize the series because a lot of people don't like Dark World. They're wrong. Dark World is a fine movie. It's not a bad movie. It's just not as good as the others. It doesn't mean it's bad. But yes, universally, most people dislike Dark World the most out of most of the MCU.
I thought I could be loved by my father and Thor, but no! For you, that's not how the story goes. Funny how balanced your boss's shtick. Yet he left you neck and bits, so you got a split. Your birth family lifted your meld as a frost kid. Gave you the cold shoulder, Odin had to let you Hopkins.
Had to have you Hopkins, meaning switch families. But also, Hopkins, I could be wrong on this, but Johns Hopkins is a hospital in Maryland. I know this because I grew up in Maryland. Maybe that's the reference that I'm getting, or just Hopkins was just a clever way to say switch families so that it rhymed because of rapping.
Not how the story goes. Funny how balanced your boss's shtick. Yet he left you neck and bits, so you got a split. Your birth family lifted your meld as a frost kid. Gave you the cold shoulder, Odin had to let you Hopkins. God died and your lives were disrupted. No VFD could save its very fiery destruction. Don't tell me shame when you bow with no doors, cause I've taken advantage of another spoiled orphan.
Who won? Who's next? Don't decide! The next!
That was excellent stuff. And Freshy Kanal's second channel does the behind-the-scenes stuff. That's very familiar. Shulbadi was Loki. OTB Prods was the visual of Loki. Stupendium, of course, was Count Olaf's audio. And Skitsy was Count Olaf in the visuals. The Angry Minute as Klaus Baudelaire. And Lawless Marshall as Bruce Banner. Freshy Kanal as Lemony Snicket, which I believe was that spoken word section in the middle there. Written by Freshy Kanal, Little Flex, Snakebite 128, Lawless Marshall, and OTB Productions. Right on. So, Bo Shwabadi and Stupendium did not write their verses at all, they just came in to perform them. That's neat. And who did the beat? Anyway, Seb and Freshy Kanal. Mixed and mastered by Freshy. Awesome. That was the first one of those rap battles that I've seen. Clearly, the influence is there from epic rap battles of history, not just in the visuals, but also in the style that the rap battle is presented, just in the audio production, and also how the battles are introduced and how the outro goes with the who was won, who's next. Those sort of things. Yeah, it's clear it wears its influence on its sleeve, but that does not mean that it is a lesser version of that. Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, as most comedy musicians know. Really dug that, and I hope you did too. Thanks for joining me this week. If you want to see these videos without me yammering all over them, the links to those are in the description down below. Please show Stupendium and Freshy Kanal some love by checking their channels out and checking out their videos. If you want to show me some love, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And if you really want to help the channel out, consider supporting me on Patreon, where you get to see these videos early, get songs from me early, as well as other cool things. Anyway, I've yammered on for far long now. Time to say goodnight. We'll see you later. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye. I got caught with the box after called puny god, then got ripped at a time by the TVA squad. Been a hell of a ride, but I'm hearing the bells start to toll.